What's going on, everyone? Just doing a quick video. I always have my different look when I'm in my bedroom doing these, but I was going to do a quick video on Copenhagen security theories, international theories. And these emerged largely as a response to, some can say, the end of the Cold War, but also the consolidation of, I won't say anti-realist policies, but stronger regional policies, which in some way, along with a lot of other forces, forced nation states to look at things a little bit differently. And so, one way to understand Copenhagen basically makes an argument that you always have nations that are acting out of self-interest, but there's almost this layer of interpretation that happens, meaning that it sort of endorses multiple storylines. It embraces, advocates would say it embraces a lot of the complexities and incongruent facets of the data that's produced in realism and political science traditionally. And so one way to understand this is, let's say you're an astrophysicist. You're in outer space right now, if that makes sense. And you're collecting data from a million different places. And if you're a realist, traditionally, not to discount the depth that realism has, but if you're a realist, traditionally you would say, well, look, this is pretty simple. If I have 3 arrays looking at 3 different star systems, I'm going to get back 9 sets of data. And I can put those together, and I can make whatever, maybe it's some permutation. Now I have 27 total different views of this model. And guess what? I can tell from the first 3 what this is, and I can tell from the next 9 what this is, and I can tell from the total 27 what this is. And it's never really that different. It's always the same thing. And so, okay, this is just one of those tools you can use to associate with, like, Copenhagen theory, because Copenhagen theory says, well, look, if you're looking at actual fundamental causes and drivers of why people make choices and nation states, sort of this collective organism of a state government, a nation state behaves a certain way, I can tell you why that is, and if it's not, they say, well, basically, context matters, the way that issues are spoken about matters, this is actually what you build your array out of. And so it's difficult to tell because, when we are looking at, like, nativist and nationalist domestic movements in the United States, one of the things that people are sort of debating going out for is, well, look, we are seeing presidents like Trump speak differently about international affairs. Is that right? I don't personally buy that. Sorry, that's a side note, but, I don't totally agree. And, when you decide to position something a little more grandiose, you have a different point of view, you can also look and say, well, look, it could also possibly be only interpreted this way for the opposite reason, that there's almost, there's not delineation between the layers of clarity and vagueness and optimism and pessimism which exists in Copenhagen. And if you need proof of this, you can say, well, why were we not on the horse 20 years ago? Why does it appear that in some ways we're either falling apart or just getting on the horse? And the absurdity of it is there's not just one right answer. There's probably, I don't know, if we're being funny right now, there's probably multiple right answers.